You are blowing someone's mind right now, okay? Their minds are blown. Let's discover who that is or who they are and exactly how you're blowing their minds. Hi, my name is Diana, a psychic intuitive, and I have a very interesting message to deliver to you today. Before you are 3 piles of cards. You can choose one or more of these piles to watch. Pile A1 is feather. Pile B2 is pig. Pile 3 is forest. So go ahead and make your choice or choices, and I will see you at your reading. Welcome to your reading pile number A1. You have feather. Someone you know is undependable and insincere. So I feel like you're dealing with someone here. The person whose mind you're currently blowing is someone who wasn't there for you, who didn't show up when they said they would, someone whose word could not be trusted. You dealt with this person and they proved themselves to be undependable and insincere, okay? Or it could be a situation where there are multiple people involved and they just let you down, okay? They let you down. We have elephant. A long journey, either physical or mental, will leave you wiser at the end. So I feel like you went through a lot with this person. Yeah, they put you through a lot. And you learned a lot from their shenanigans, okay? You learned a lot by the way they behaved, by the way they acted. There were certain things you took for granted about this person until you learned through repeated trials or through a very long ordeal that they were not to be trusted. We have marriage. Okay, so this could be someone you used to be married to. Okay, this could be someone you're currently married to. That's possible. Perhaps it's been a very long, difficult relationship. It could be also just a relationship. It could be someone that you're in contract with or someone you work with. It could be a company. And I feel like this person or this situation was very difficult for you to contend with. Okay, you got put through a lot. And this person, their mind is blown by you or these people. Okay, their minds are blown. It's possible that you are still with this person or still, in touch with this person somehow. It could be, like I said, someone you're married to or someone you're in a relationship with or someone you're in a contractual agreement with. It could be like a partnership situation when it comes to your career or work-wise or some sort of business deal, or I don't know, it could be a friend that you felt like you guys are joined together in some kind of way, okay? Let's take a look at your first situation. It says your small wins matter, okay? So I feel like this person that you're dealing with, they're shocked. They're shocked by you right now because you took your time. You took your time. And you didn't, go in for a big kill or a big win against this person, okay? You bided your time and you worked systematically and methodically against this person, or you showed this person that you didn't have to hurry or rush to win against them or to win in this situation, okay? You just took many small steps, you had many small victories, and you took your time, okay? They're kind of shocked by this because it shows that you have self-control. It shows that you are not rushing to show them that you're the winner. Also, I feel like this person, they're watching you do something right now. I feel like they're watching you work on some kind of long-term project, and you're taking it day by day, step by step, and they are blown away by you doing this. Perhaps you are not the type to take your time with things in the past. Perhaps you're not the type to stick with things for the long haul, and they're shocked that you're doing this, okay? We have awakening. Awakening is the process of discovering your true self. I feel like this person, even though they feel like they've put you through it and they weren't there for you, you still managed to win in some situation. You continue to persevere, okay? and you grew up through this process. Okay, they watched you develop, they watched you continue to improve every day. I'm improving every day. Okay, something like that. You were improving every day in some little way. We have 38, Othala, Frig, inheritance, family, home. Okay, so yeah, so this person has watched you. I don't know if I feel like they may watch you take good care of the home or improve the home in some kind of substantial way. They watched you create a home life, blown their minds. They're just like, I feel like this person, this partner or mate, perhaps they were supposed to help you out with setting up the home or building up the house or doing some substantial project, and they failed you, but you went ahead and you did what you had to do anyway. This could have had to do with the family life, the home life. Perhaps you wanted this person to hang around with you and help you set up the home, or hang out with you, help you raise the kids, or hang around with you and help you build up this project. And they just were not there for you, but yet you got it done anyway. Okay, you got it done anyway. I also feel like this person, maybe this was not the case. Maybe what it was is that they are not dependable and sincere when it comes to the way they do their life, the way they handle their projects. Okay, and you are a good example to this person. This is how you're blowing their mind. They're thinking to themselves, "Oh my gosh, I could never have accomplished what Viewer accomplished. Viewer is you. Okay, I could never have accomplished what Viewer accomplished. Viewer is miles ahead of me when it comes to getting things done, staying focused on the home life, staying focused on the things that matter, that you displayed wisdom beyond what they imagined you to have when it came to making progress, step-by-step progress in some project or some affair or matter that impacted your home life and is making you a shining star right now when it comes to, I take care of my own. I take care of my home. Okay, I'm also getting an inheritance for you guys. The person you're dealing with that's blown away by you right now is blown away by the fact that you inherited something that was worked on little by little. Perhaps you worked on it, perhaps someone else worked on it. It is now yours. You've inherited this project. It may be from family or from work. If you're drained, maybe stop pouring. Yeah. So I feel like they watched you stop pouring into them and turn your focus on the things, the wins that mattered, okay? Which is yourself, your home life. They're shocked by that. They're shocked by you turning your powers around and stopping trying to take care of them and focusing on yourself. Stopping pouring into a situation that wasn't rewarding you, that was leaving you drained. They are shocked by this, okay? We have 3 saws. And I feel like this person, whenever they were drained, they would stop. Whenever this person was drained, they would stop. They watched you go beyond this. Okay? They watched you continue. And the way you were able to do it was you took your time and you would do little chunks. Little chunks. I almost feel like they almost laughed at you. They were almost like, look at this little thing you did today. That's no big deal. You got a lot you got to do. You got a lot you got to take care of. But you ignored their laughter, you ignored their mockery, you drowned out their doubts, and you continue to chip away at this thing. And you were resilient, and you struggled, and you underwent discomfort, and you persevered, and now you have accomplished something spectacular. Okay, they're kind of shocked by this. I feel like this thing you've accomplished may be a state, maybe the way you look, it could be your home life, how you've set up the home, it could be the way you've cared for others in your home, smaller vulnerable creatures, could be a pet, could be children. I just feel like the person you're dealing with could be a partner or someone you married yourself to. Doesn't have to be an actual marriage, but a situation where you guys are sort of like married or joined together to work on something together. But they failed you, or they showed that the way they are in their life is they cannot be dependent on. You showed them that you could be dependent on. Okay, we've seen the horns here. You stubbornly persisted beyond what anything this person is capable of. Now we have Rebel. This person feels like you rebelled. You rebelled against the status quo. I feel like this person, they were flaky and they were not consistent, and they thought that, well, they don't have to do better than me. They thought they were setting an example for you where you could be flaky and inconsistent like them. Like they were giving you permission you know, subtly by just acting like this, and you did not follow suit, and this is blowing their minds. You rebelled against this pattern that they tried to set up for you to copy, to follow. You did not follow them. You stood your ground. You did not go the way they were going, which was, the way of laziness and inconsistency. Okay. We have keep your plans secret for now. Yeah, this person is shocked because, it's funny because they didn't see you doing this. Perhaps the way you worked it, you did a little bit at a time. You didn't announce it. You weren't loud about it. And you kind of chipped away at it very quietly. And the reason they're so shocked is because you kept it secret until it was something big. Okay? When they saw how what you had done, all of a sudden there was a mountain in front of their faces. And they were like, wait a minute. What were you? How did you pull this off? Perhaps an example could be maybe you put little small amounts of money away every day. Okay? Or every week. And, they were inconsistent in what they were doing, or they thought that you, or they were not consistently supporting you, or setting aside money with you. And then all of a sudden, boom, you put money down for a house. Boom, you bought a car. Boom, maybe you were exercising, doing little exercises every day, and they were half-assing it, not showing up like they promised they would to work out with you so they could get gains. No. And all of a sudden, you woke up one day and you looked amazing. You look amazing while they didn't. Okay, this is shocking them. You're blowing their minds right now. The fact that you are consistent, even if you can only do a little, you get that little done and you don't stop. This is how you're shocking someone right now. Okay, this person. We have the forest. Yes. So I feel like you never hear that statement. You can't see the forest for the trees. Can't see the forest for the trees. I don't know if you guys heard that statement. When you're in the forest, you're working away at something. You can't see the impact that you're having because you're inside of you're mixed in with the trees. Okay. But once you step up and out and get a wide view, okay, a view of the wide vista. This is what I feel happened with them, is they were in it with you and they didn't notice the progress you're making until they backed up and realized, oh my gosh, this tree has been felled. Oh my gosh, there's a clearing in the forest now. You actually worked steadily to create space, to remove something that was crowding you. And all of a sudden they woke up one day and it caught their eye that you'd made such substantial progress that this was done. There was now, instead of the crowded trees, there was a big space in the forest where you can build, where you can do things. And you worked away at this steadily until it was done. And they had no idea, because you were being very quiet about it. They had no idea. You caught them off guard with this. And lastly, we're getting 25 ancestors. Yeah, I feel like this person is realizing that it's because of where you come from. It's because of who you are that you're able to accomplish this thing. Perhaps the people you're from are very hard workers and they're very meticulous and they're very methodical. And they're starting to make this connection about you. That this is part of your lineage, your legacy. Yeah, I feel like this person, I feel like you finally let them know, hey, I finished this thing. And they're like, what? You shocked them, fam. You shocked them. Okay? Because you showed that you were willing to go through struggle and discomfort to get this thing done. They didn't think they didn't think at all that you were capable of something like that. Wow. I feel like for some of you, this had to do with your weight loss. Perhaps you were hiding this. Maybe you were wearing baggy clothes. All of a sudden you showed up, you took your baggy clothes off, you put on some slim fitting wear, and they were shocked. They were stunned. They were blown away. I feel like it has to do with appearance for some of you. For some of you, it has to do with a house, guys. It has to do with vegetation, a garden. Perhaps you worked slowly onto this garden, until all of a sudden they were looking at something beautiful. They were awestruck. Or maybe it's a property at your house. The house, they kept working on it, and all of a sudden, you cleared out in the middle of the forest. You had a clearing. You cleared out some of these problems, okay? Perhaps there were problems you were besieged by, and you steadily worked at it. And this person didn't think much of you about it. They didn't think much. All of a sudden, they looked up and boom, you have a big forest clearing. Or boom, you have men who can help you. You're not in dire straits. You're not behind like they thought you were. They're realizing now that you were, the whole time, you were steady, you were showing resolve, you were staying on point. And this has blown their minds. And that is all I see in the cards for you today as part of this message. If it resonated, then please put a thumbs up on it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you at the next one. Hello and welcome to your reading pile 2. Let's take a look at your message here. Who is blown away by you right now? We have Pig. Beware of greed. Okay. So someone who was greedy. Someone who was greedy. Someone who wanted too much from you at one point. Someone who showed, there was some way you dealt with them and you saw that this person wants more than either that they deserve or more than is good for them, or they just want they just want to eat everything. They don't want to share with anybody. I'm also getting that this person who blind you're blown is someone who likes to eat a lot. That's possible. We have Kite. Vacation. This could be someone that you went on vacation with. Okay, this could be someone who's used to be greedy, but they've stopped being greedy. They've taken a pause or a break on being greedy with you, greedy with your time, greedy with your resources. They've backed away from that for now. We have Rose. Romance is in the air. This could be someone who loves you. Okay, someone who is like a friend who is very greedy for what you have, maybe greedy for your mate. It could be that this is someone who you went on a vacation with, perhaps a boyfriend or a girlfriend, maybe a boyfriend or girlfriend who likes to eat a lot. So these are just hints as to who this person is. Okay, so we kind of have an idea there of who this might be. Go ahead and take those clues and check yourself to figure out who this might be based on the clues. This might be someone who likes fishing. This might be someone who's a horticulturist, someone who's giving you a flower in the past. So this could be someone you're dating. Please pardon the ice cream truck sound in the background. Right outside in the front of my house. This could be someone that you've known for a long time, since childhood. Okay, this is the person whose mind you're blowing right now. Okay, let's take a look at your first card. We got choose yourself. Yeah, so this person is realizing, like, for the first time, you're choosing you. Okay, you're choosing you. I feel like this person was greedy for you. This person was greedy for your time, greedy for your energy. They took more than they gave. Okay, and I feel like this is maybe a mate or a partner who used to do more taking than giving. And I feel like you've been choosing yourself lately. You've been more selfish with your time, more selfish with your resources. And also, I feel like whenever you've wanted to go a certain way, I feel like you used to wait for this person. I also feel like there was a path you used to want to travel. There's a way you wanted to go. And you used to wait for this person. You used to want to go where they wanted to go. Maybe you used to go vacationing where they wanted to vacation. And this time, just as an example, you decided, you know what? I've always wanted to go here. And even if you don't want to go there, I'm going to go there, even if I have to go by myself. And I feel like, just specifically speaking, that's one way you're blowing their minds right now. It's this sense of independence that you're displaying, okay? We have love. I also feel like this person, this could be an ex. This could be an ex of yours, okay? Because I'm seeing that maybe their behavior put you off. And you're choosing to love yourself now as a result, okay? It says your love is everywhere. Open your heart to feel it. They're noticing now that you're not viewing them as the only source of love any longer. It's not all about them anymore. You maybe found friends, you found other people to focus on getting love from, you found other people to relate to, who give you love, who see you, who appreciate you. You're no longer turning just to them for love, okay? It could be also, maybe this is someone who viewed you as greedy for their love, and you are starting to be more independent in seeking out love from yourself and from others, and not just them. And this is really blowing their minds. We have Unyo Mestave. Loss, sadness, depression. I feel like this person's missing you right now. They're missing you. They're shocked that either you walked away from this relationship, or you started being more independent in this relationship, or you started finding love from other people or other situations in life. And they feel a sense of loss about this. They feel that you stopped being sad about them and you started choosing yourself and started choosing joy from other avenues. You stop putting it all on them. And I feel like they definitely feel a sense of loss about it. We got no one knows what they're doing, including you. I feel like this person used to think that they knew everything, that they understood so much. And they used to think that you didn't know much. You didn't understand how things worked. But they're starting to realize that even they don't understand how things work. You've showed this to them by leveling yourself up. They become more aware of this because of, they never predicted, for one, they never predicted that you would have this glow up, that you would choose this direction in your life, okay? That you would grow up, you would expand, you would see outside of this myopic vision of what they thought you were stuck on. So they're realizing that they didn't really fully know you. They didn't really fully understand everything like they thought they did. We have now T's. Solitude, sadness, and grief. We're getting a lot of sadness, guys. I feel like this person is really sad. They're really sad about you. They're feeling a lot of loss and grief over their arrogance, to be perfectly honest, okay? Because they assumed that they had you pegged. They assumed they had you pegged. And they assumed that they understood how this was going to play out. They didn't understand when you went on vacation, or you went off by yourself, or you found other sources of love. This shook them to their core. And it brought about depression, okay? We're getting listen. Okay, listen. Yeah, you're really shocking this person because you found friends who will listen to you. You found, consolers, people who will console you during your grief, or console you and show you empathy. This is where this person that you are dealing with, this is where you're blowing their minds right now, is that you're actually turning to others. I feel like for some of you, the message is they're realizing about you that you are a good listener. Yes, they're realizing that you were a good listener and that they didn't appreciate this enough about you. We saw that beware of greed. They just took and took and took and took. And so maybe they took when it came to your ability to focus on them, your ability to listen to them. They took a lot in that regard. And now that you've gone to find other people to talk to, other sources to connect with, you're now taking your listening, consoling abilities elsewhere. You're focusing it on yourself. You're focusing it on others. This is where they're feeling a sense of loss. It says here, if you're not early, you're late. For some of you, this person, they thought you were going to wait for them forever. They thought you were going to wait around and wait on them and wait on their stuff, wait on them not changing, wait on them not improving, wait on them not giving them more than the amount of attention that you deserved, or more of something. Okay? And you finally chose yourself. Either you left, or you started more things by yourself. You started focusing on others, and it's like they're feeling now that they're late. They're late. They took too long. They kept you waiting too long. They're realizing this about you. This is how they're blowing their minds, okay? It's a series of realizations that they're getting based on the actions that you've chosen, based on the behaviors that you're displaying now. This is how you're shocking them, okay? This is how you're blowing their minds. We have Africa. Some of you may have moved to Africa. You may have gone off to Africa, okay? That's just a message for some of you. You may have moved to, relocated entirely. It says your vacation, so which implies a change of location. And so I feel that some of you may have just moved on, and this is how you're blowing their minds. You may have gone to a different continent, and they're shocked. They're like, wow, was it that bad? That you had to just go somewhere? It could be also that maybe, they like to go vacation in Greece all the time, and you always wanted to go to Africa or some other continent. And they never wanted to go where you wanted to go. And finally, you were like, you know what? I'm going by myself. And you went off to some unknown, all by yourself, or maybe with a friend, and left them behind. This is how you are blowing their minds, okay? I also feel like I'm getting a lot of animals here. We see some animals here, like a menagerie of animals. We got a wolf, birds. We got a zebra, elephant. We got a bat. We got a giraffe. Maybe this person didn't realize that you were an animal lover. Perhaps some of you are animal lovers. This person did not realize how much you loved nature. And this is why you wanted to go so much. This is why you wanted to do what you wanted to do. And maybe you're growing closer to nature. Maybe you moved to a farm. Maybe you now live near nature, near a rural part of the world or something. And this is how you're blowing their minds, okay? We have King of Fire. They see now that you're a motivator. Okay, they see now that you are a mentor. Look, we're getting a lion. Look, more of this animal motif coming on. They see now that maybe you protect animals, or you're a good encourager of any kind of activities that are geared towards taking care of animals or looking out for animals. And they are shocked by this. They didn't link you or view, link you with that or view you that way. Maybe if they'd listened more, they would have realized this about you, okay? Or paid more attention. They would have noted that you are into animals, or they would have noted that you're into diversity. That's another thing. Okay? Maybe this person liked to only stick with their own kind, and they expected you to do the same. And you are like, no, I want to go hang out with all the different kinds. God made us all, and we're all of the same cloth. We're all of the same ilk. And they're realizing that you really deeply appreciate diversity. This is what's blowing their minds. That you're the type to be a mother or a father and love your kids and love animals. That you love all of God's creations just the same. Okay, I feel like this person just wanted just you only, and wanted you to fixate on them. And maybe they didn't even give you as much as you gave them. And they thought they could just keep you there. And you decided that you needed to expand your horizons and choose more than them and go out and do other things and connect with other people and get into your other passions or interests, or look out for other types of creatures or other types of people. And this is how you're really blowing this person's mind at this time. Okay? And that's why I'm seeing the cards for you as far as this message goes. If you've enjoyed it, found it enlightening, please put a thumbs up on it. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll catch up with you at the next one. Hello and welcome to your reading, pile C3. So whose mind are you blowing right now? We have forced, muddled, unclear thinking. So this is someone who, we're dealing with someone here who maybe didn't view you correctly, or perhaps they're kind of a bit of a scatterbrain. We have temporary situation. Okay. Interesting. Perhaps someone you only knew in passing. Perhaps you didn't know them for very long. We have broken bridge. Okay, so someone you knew for a while, but then, went your separate ways with this person. I'm getting like a burned bridge vibe. So I'm getting like this person may have once been a fixture in your life, but then maybe you moved out, or they moved out, and you guys went your separate ways. Okay, so this is like a broken connection of some kind. I'm also getting that the person whose mind you're blowing right now is someone who maybe likes to live outdoors, who's kind of an outdoorsy person. So I'm getting a forest, now I'm getting a tent. They like to maybe go camping a lot, and maybe you stopped going to see this person, or you stopped hanging out with them, or you stopped camping with them. Yeah, a lot of situations could fit here. But the connection was definitely separated or broken, or you went apart your separate ways. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at what the message is here. How are you blowing this person's mind? It says here, the risk is worth the reward. So I feel like you took a risk. You moved on from this person. You separated yourself from this person and decided to journey out further to other places, maybe places they had never been. Okay, places they had not ever been, and you stopped playing it safe in some kind of way. They're finding this very shocking. Okay, they're kind of blown away by it. Perhaps they felt like you've gotten used to them, and just kind of like a forest can be a fixture. They thought that maybe, trees can't get up and walk away, right? And they thought you would always be there. Okay, you have been showing a certain kind of strength. You've been showing a certain kind of strength. I feel like a strength in standing alone. This is shocking them. You're showing a certain inner strength that is boundless. You finally unleashed a certain inner strength they didn't know that you had. They thought you were going to be shacking up with them or staying with them, and they're blown away that you split apart and went your own way. They thought that you would always need them. Okay, we're getting Barkhana Mekstaba. Okay, let me go ahead and cover this up. We're getting crone, stagnation, lack of growth. So they really thought that you were never going to go anywhere. Perhaps they thought that you are more mature now, like a tree is fully grown, and that you are always firmly rooted, and that you would never go anywhere. So they were shocked when you are like, you know what? I'm not going to be stagnant, okay? Hey, Leo. I'm not going to be stagnant, okay? I've got life in me yet, Okay, so maybe you're a senior in a certain situation. Maybe you stayed on at a company for a very long time, and you'd become senior there, or you'd maybe been in a marriage for a very long time, and you've grown older within that relationship, and something like that. And they never thought that you would strike out on your own. They never thought you would, and this is blowing their minds right now. You start tomorrow, just like every day this week. Perhaps you used to tell this person, I'm going to leave. Or you would tell these people, I'm going to move on. And but you wouldn't do it. And so they gotten used to this dynamic. They thought you were just talking. They didn't realize that you were building up to something, that you were actually building up to leaving. They didn't know. This is how you're blowing their minds. Okay, we got Sohilo. Success, triumph, fame. Yeah, so you succeeded at flying the coop. You can see the wings. You're flying off. You left this situation behind. Okay? They had gotten to the point where they were taking you for granted that you would just always be there. Perhaps they thought you were scared of leaving because you were so much older or so much senior. Maybe you wouldn't be easily taken in somewhere else. They are shocked that you took that risk and went off. You may as well have gone off to Mars, in their opinion. You went to somewhere very different, or somewhere very far away, or somewhere completely different. And you succeeded at landing where you were going and getting this thing. It may have been a new job. It may have been a new location where you're going to be living at, or a new relationship, or a new digs, or new something. Okay? They are shocked you left this thing behind. You moved on, and that you were successful in moving on and securing what you needed to secure. We have reassess. This person really thought that you were going to stick with them forever. Or this situation. They really didn't. They had no clue that you were actually assessing them. That, is this still good? Is this still good for me? Are you still good for me? They're shocked by this. Okay? That you were still looking at the different sides. That you're still analyzing, still assessing. And they're shocked that you're a risk taker. That you took that risk, that you stepped out there. One small step for man, fill in the blanks. And it feels like they did not expect you to go into untrammeled territory, brand new territory that you've never been before. They did not expect it. Be excellent to each other. Yeah, so the lesson you're teaching this person is they should have treated you very, very well. They should have treated you well. Excellently, in fact. Because you're a very powerful creature, okay? And you are very senior, meaning you're very experienced. And you can't find that. You can't find power and experience like that just any old where. You can't. And they're realizing they lost out on that. They lost out on that. Next, we're getting the princess. Beautiful. So we first were getting the crone, now we're getting the maiden. They're realizing that though you were senior and though you were experienced, you still had a lot of youth left in you. You have a youthful attitude. I'm seeing that here. Okay? They're having to reassess you. They're reassessing you. They're realizing, oh my gosh, he had a lot of youth in them. They're shocked by how you're looking. They're like, you look young, actually. Why did I ever think you looked old? Why did I ever think that you looked aged? Why did I ever think that? You actually look young. So they become biased against you just because they gotten used to you and they gotten cocky in their assessments of you. They got comfortable in their assessments of you. They didn't view you fairly. They didn't rate you accurately. And they're realizing now that you actually have a lot of youth in you. You're strong, and you are simply just giving them warnings. That's all that was. It was warnings. So many warnings that they refused to heed, that they refused to take. Next, we're getting the Queen of Water. You're really shocking them, guys. You're really shocking them. They are blown away because they're realizing that you are very kind. You're very loving. That you are empathetic. Okay? That you are devoted to them. Okay? This is what they're realizing about you. You're realizing that you're a very devoted person. That you assisted them a lot. You assisted them a lot. And that you were very intuitive. You're actually very aware of what was going on. And that they're losing out on this now. They're losing out on this. It's almost like they realized this about you after you left. Okay? And you may be a water sign. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Okay? or the person you're dealing with might be water sign. And if not, they're just realizing that you were a loving, kind person with a warm touch, that you were very thoughtful, considerate, empathetic. This is what they're realizing about you now. They're blown away because they're realizing that you took this somewhere else. Okay, you went to outer space, or you traveled to some mountaintop. You broke the bridge, you took off, you flew the coop, you left, you've taken it somewhere else. And the lasting lesson that you've left with them is be excellent to each other. You taught them that. You taught them that they need to be kind and nice to the people who are there, who are present in their lives. That it's a good idea to be that way, lest you lose something as divine and wonderful as you, my viewer. And that's what I'm seeing in the cards for you today. If you've enjoyed this reading, please give it a thumbs up. If you find it entertaining, give it a thumbs up. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch up with you at the next reading. Bye.